Ready? Morning all. Gail will call the Board of Public Works and Capital Assets meeting to order of May 14th, 2024. Roll call. Gail is here.
Zarnecki here.
Seifert here.
Segal here.
Thank you all. Moving on, item number 3 is approval of minutes from the April 9th, 2024 meeting. Any notations, corrections, deletions, comments? Otherwise, I'll take a motion.
Seifert moves to approve the minutes of April 9th, 2024.
Segal seconds.
Roll call. Gail, aye.
Zarnecki abstain.
Seifert, aye.
Segal aye.
Great, thank you. Item 4 is to review common council actions related to public works and capital assets. Oh, great. Any questions for Francesca? All right. Moving on then, item 6 would be consider a motion to approve the purchase of the Pavajet mini paver. Matt, or who's got that one? Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah. You know, these are cards for the members of the board.
Oh, you think so? That'd be nice. All right, yeah, item 5 then is to consider a motion to approve purchase of 2 vehicles from Holtz Motors.
Morning, I'm Darcy Du Bois, Health Officer, seeking approval to purchase 2 vehicles for the Health Department using our Health Department ARPA grant funds. We currently have 1 vehicle in the Health Department that's nearing the end of its life. We have some grant funding available through the end of this year that is approved to purchase vehicles, so want to take advantage of that and replace the vehicle while we can. Vehicles will be used for Health Department staff for many different community functions. We do inspections of restaurants, hotels, pools, home visits with clients, clinics, community events. So staff are out and about frequently and would use those vehicles. We have met with a sales representative from Holtz Motors and plan to purchase the vehicles through that dealer using the state vehicle purchasing contract. Any questions that I can answer?
I did have a question. Max and Andrew know you're doing this as a purchase rather than the lease program?
Yeah, so we have spoken about it, and the reason we decided to do a purchase is because we have the grant funding to buy the vehicles outright versus having to budget the lease amount every year, which would be more difficult with the health department budget.
I'm just wondering because I know we don't do the service on lease.
Right. Yes, we have spoken about it.
As long as they, anything else on that one? I'll take a motion then on item 5.
Seifert moves to approve the purchase of 2 vehicles from Holtz Motors in the amount of $68,500.
Zarnecki will second.
Roll call. Gail is aye.
Zarnecki aye.
Seifert, aye.
Segal aye.
Thank you all. Now we can do item 6. Thank you, Darcy. Which is to consider the approval of a purchase of a Pavajet mini paver. That's, I'm assuming you, Matt, right?
Yes. Yes, thank you. Matt Trobatuski, Director of Public Works. So the mini paver, what we're looking at is actually kind of a combination purchase between this item and the following item. What we have currently is a 1999 patch truck that we utilize for potholes as well as some of our patchwork repairs. It's definitely an older vehicle that's seen better days, and we'd like to get away from it. It's a larger sitting high up truck, we'll call it, of climbing in and out of, which becomes difficult when you're trying to do multiple potholes per day. And we looked at a more efficient and actually what we would see as a better finished surface product in using a mini paver such as this that we were able to demo with the city of Lake Mills had one of these units available. It's an attachment for a skid steer, and it worked really well. They demonstrated just simply some old millings that they had for us. They were able to put out because this was in late winter that we visited their site, so we got to see how that was utilized, and it did a really good job in doing that. So it would give us a nicer riding surface when we do patchwork on streets, as well as at the end of drive approaches when we're doing culvert repair work or culvert replacement. And then in addition, this unit will also allow us to do some shouldering work as well, which would be helpful in those operations along so many of the roads that we have without curb and gutter. So this is really just a single source, this unit that we were able to find, and it looks like the dealer is out of Illinois, so relatively close by. It is manufactured overseas. However, we felt confident enough in being able to get the parts from this company to move forward if we run into any issues. So yeah, we were looking for the board to consider this purchase. We had $55,000 was the quote we received. We had $103,000 that was approved in the CIP budget for 2024 for this item, as well as the following item, which is an asphalt recycler hot box trailer. But between the two items, we still come within the $103,000 budget amount.
Questions for Matt? All right, well,
Good.
take a motion then.
You're gonna get rid of the old equipment?
Yes. Yep. We'll put the old equipment on probably like Wisconsin surplus auction. I mean, it's still serviceable. It still runs. So hopefully we'll be able to get at least some kind of return on it through the sale.
Thank you.
I'll need a motion on item 6.
Zarnicki will make a motion to approve the purchase of a Pavajet mini paver MG7 from High Tech Equipment Incorporated in the amount of $55,000.
Scully seconds.
Roll call, Gills, aye.
Zarnicki, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Scully, aye.
Thank you, Matt. And then item 7, then is consider purchase of a 4-ton Falcon asphalt recycler and hot box trailer from Midwest Paving.
Yes, thank you. And as I was mentioning, this is kind of the second piece of that. This would be utilized for doing our pothole repairs, which actually will be a little bit more maneuverable as well, as far as getting to the pothole repairs. It is a 4-ton unit, so it's similar to what we have on the existing truck, so we're not losing any capacity in that regard. We did receive 3 quotes, the lowest being the NASPO bid pricing through Midwest Paving for $44,070.80, and that, along with our previous purchase, would fall within the budget for 2024. The only other additional item that we'll get along with that would be we'll probably get a tarp, automatic tarp roller system for one of our dump trucks that we'll utilize for the mini paver. So we should everything should still be within the budget that was allocated.
Any discussion, comments, questions for Matt? So take a motion on item 7 then.
Zarnicki will make a motion to approve the purchase of a 4-ton Falcon asphalt recycler and hot box trailer from Midwest Paving Equipment Incorporated in the amount of $44,070.80 through the NASPO bid contract.
Seifert seconds.
Thank you. Roll call, Gills, aye.
Zarnicki, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Scully, aye.
Okay, thank you. Item 8 then is consider approval of the lowest qualified proposal from Pro Wood Care to restore and preserve all the log cabin at the museum on a time and materials basis at a total estimated cost of $56,302, and authorize the city attorney to prepare and enter into a contract with Pro Wood Care based on the approved proposal.
Yes, thank you. We had put this.
How did you get to manage this?
What's that? Yeah, I got lucky. No, Public Works did work with engineering as well with Matt Sullivan, the city engineer, and we put together a request for proposal for this project.
I don't know, Bobby, I don't know if you guys, this is for the We call it the Historical Society, just so you know, all right? It's not, it doesn't say that there, so.
Yep, and so we put this out for proposal. We were pretty, I mean, it was guessed that we'd probably only get the one proposal. I know the Historical Society had looked at soliciting proposals in the past year just to see what was out there, and Pro Wood Care was one of the two that provided quotes. Definitely the more, we'll say, professional of the two. Definitely, this is something they work on quite a bit, especially throughout the Midwest and really the country as a whole. And they came back around, and of course it's a year later, so they did see a little bit more rot and everything else, which is to be expected as time moves on. Fortunately, as they went and assessed it, with all the work that they're looking to do, they were still coming under what we had budgeted of $60,000. Now it is, of course, a time and materials project. It's an interesting project, just like opening up any wall in a building. You don't know what you're going to run into, especially here. They're not going to know what they'll find necessarily once they get going. So it likely is going to have, I would assume, a change order once they come back with it. So I'm guessing the $56,000 probably won't be the end cost. And the other piece of that is obviously you can't go to Menards and buy the lumber and put that in. So they need to search and look for the logs to be able to replace the ones that need to be fully removed and come out. So they met on site. They were the one bidder, we'll call it, that submitted a proposal. They were the only ones that were at the mandatory meeting and took a look at the project again. They are relatively local. They're out of Germantown, so there's not really a lot of cost associated with their mobilization and travel time. And they're reputable in the sense they've been around for quite some time, and this is kind of their specialty, or it's kind of a niche type of project that we're looking at. So we're asking the board to consider approving the proposal, again, on a time and materials basis, but for $56,302 was the proposal's estimated total.
Bob, anything? You got a business on the side here, Bobby?
Oh, just looking them up online to see what they specialize.
Matt, I did have a question for you. So you say this is a time of materials, and like you said, it could be and they would potentially need to submit a change order. So I can't foresee they just stop working for a month because we only meet once a month. So they assume they'd get paid for reasonable overages.
Yep. They would reach out and they would contact either myself or Matt Sullivan, and we would discuss it and meet out there with them and figure out what's going on and make sure that it is reasonable and necessary, and then move forward with that. And then we would come back to the board with any changes.
Yeah, I have a question. Is this cabin owned by the city or is the county involved?
It is exclusively owned by the city. Yep,
It
both the
is.
property and the buildings, and all the buildings, including this one, are owned by the city.
Okay.
Yep, it was deeded from the county. The records looked like it was to the Historical Society, but ultimately it is city property.
Can't get the county to help contribute to the repairs?
I mean, we can certainly try, but I don't know. I know it was moved back in 1978, and I don't think there was any. Didn't seem like there was any language in there that they were going to kind of continue on with any type of responsibility for it.
I don't need to be asking you. They wouldn't be doing anything for free. All right, if you're good on that, I'll take a motion on item 8.
Seifert moves to approve the lowest qualified proposal for Pro Wood Care to restore and preserve the log cabin at the museum on a time and material basis at a total estimate cost of $56,302, and authorize the city attorney to prepare and enter into a contract with Pro Wood Care based on the approved proposal.
Scully seconds.
All in favor? Gale's aye.
Zarnicki, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Scully, aye.
Thank you. Item 9 is consider approval of final payment for the South 13th Street hydrant relocation project to UPI LLC in the amount of $10,112.90. Michael?
Hit it right on the head, yeah. It's just a final payment for that construction project that was
that was going on 13th Street.
Any questions for Mike? All right, take motion then. Fred?
Mike, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
This is strictly on 13th Street between Drexel and Fuchs.
Yes.
All right, Zarnicki will make a motion to approve the final payment for the South 13th Street Hydrant Relocation Project to UPI LLC in the amount of $10,112.90.
Seifert seconds.
Roll call, Gills, aye.
Zarnicki, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Thank you. Item 10 is a motion, consider a motion to approve final payment for the 2023 sanitary rehab project to Visu Sewer in the amount of $13,480.84. Michael?
Yeah, the same thing. This is just a final payment for the sanitary rehab project that we do every year. This one, it came out successful, worked out well, and this is the final.
Questions?
No.
Motion on 10.
Valley moves to approve the final payment for 2023 sanitary rehabilitation project to Visu Sewer in the amount of $13,480.84.
Zarnicki, second.
Roll call, Gills and I.
Zarnicki, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Thank you. Item 11 is to consider the approval of sanitary sewers connection agreement at 1834 East Oakwood Road.
This one is quite interesting. So a sanitary sewer connection agreement or water, but typically sanitary sewer connection agreement will be used in a case where public sewer is not available to a property, but is close, typically on a corner or very close to a property, that next property then can connect on a temporary basis until the gravity sewer gets extended at some point in the future. In this particular property, the property was serviced back in 1990 with a grinder pump force main system to a building that existed on this parcel that no longer exists. The building was a 3-unit apartment complex, if you will, very old building that was connected in 1990. And since that time, the building has gotten torn down. The property was acquired by the county. The county has sold that property off to another individual. They now want to build a single-family residence on the property and are looking for how to do that through sewer. So there is a gravity sewer solution to this property. It's intended to come from the east. At the time in 1990, and at the time the next door neighbor was built in 2002, that sewer had not crossed the railroad tracks yet, so it really wasn't available. At this point, it does service a subdivision to the south. It is across the railroad tracks. It could be considered available to this property. The issues with the gravity sanitary sewer, while considered more permanent, is that it's going to cost over $200,000 to install that, and we pick up a maximum of 3 customers. So it's not like you're ever going to make money back to pay off that sewer. This allows for the temporary connection. You can consider it as temporary reconnection to the force main on this property. They also agree that in the future, if that gravity sewer comes by, they'll disconnect their lateral and connect it to the new gravity sewer as per all of our connection agreements. This property can't directly reuse any of the force main or grinder pump system that was on the property at one time. It cut across an adjacent property for some unknown reason. So what they've agreed to do is they will extend the public force main east in Oakwood Road to get to this property, and then they'll run a new grinder pump system and lateral out to it at that point. That's what the connection agreement allows. They'll pay the connection agreement. They've actually already paid. They'll pay the same cost that the special assessment would have cost this property. That's how connection agreements work. So to them, the cost is actually a little more to put in the force main system, in that they agree to fund the force main system by themselves. They have to pay for the engineering design on that, and they've also contributed the $13,000 of what would be special assessment. We will hold in case there ever is a special assessment there that'll be applied towards that. This is a unique one.
I'm understanding right, there's no cost to the utility or the city for this, then the property owner's funding the entire bill.
That's correct,
Okay.
yes. And there will be a development agreement required for that short piece of forest main.
And it would be dedicated to the utility or the city, you guys would maintain it after that?
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. And I would say the interesting part about this force main is the rest of the force main that goes to the manhole, I don't want to say we don't consider ours. We consider it ours, but we have no records of it. When it was put in 1990 to service that one 3-bedroom or 3-apartment unit, it was put in privately. We don't have any records of it. We don't know where it is. We don't know what size it is. We don't know the condition of it. Since that time, in 2002, an adjacent home was allowed to connect to it. Because it serves more than one property and is in the right of way, it is a public main, so we have to assume it. We're hoping through this construction, we can get more information.
So they assume this is gonna be done, I assume, because the foundation's either dug or already laid.
Oh, that I'm not aware of. I didn't know that. But either way, it would be either force main or gravity sewer. So gravity sewer takes a little bit longer. That's a good point. So the gravity sewer would be available fall of this year, spring of next year. This they could get accomplished and have it done by fall of this. Sorry, the gravity sewer would be done spring of next year if we embarked on that. This could be done by fall, early spring of next year, or early winter of this year. This can be done a little bit quicker, is my point.
Was this sold, do you happen to know, is this sold off of the old Mallard Creek development, or is this a standalone lot?
It was a standalone lot that was owned by Country Creek, owned by that same developer. Yeah, it was part of that development, but it was an individual. And there is room for, per the original plan, there is room for 2 more lots on Oakwood Road, east of this. County owns it, but yes, I'm that off.
Impact to the utility, essentially nothing at this point.
So the
Do we
back,
have any engineering effort involved in this?
there'll be some, yeah. It won't be massive. The problem is you're perpetuating this force main system that you don't know much about and quite frankly don't want. There's a lot of liability to the utility if that breaks and we start pumping that, or the grinder pumps start pumping that into the ditch or what have you. So no, the best solution would be a gravity solution.
But until the county does something.
Well, no, we could do it now. It could be done now and special assessed to the county and special assessed to the next 2 property owners over. It's just, it takes a little longer. It costs an awful lot of money that we will never recover. And our special assessment rate doesn't allow us to recover the full cost of the project. So it seems like a workaround, seems like a good temporary solution. The developer, the property owner will hire a contractor.
What's this gonna cost them?
I don't have an estimated
Well, that
cost.
solves the
Like-
problem temporarily.
I mean,
30, 40 grand?
yeah, it won't be horrible. I mean, you're talking a 2-inch PVC line.
Oh,
I don't know the exact distance, but if it goes 100 feet, 150
Okay.
feet, it's not really that long.
'cause I was just thinking, it's not a particularly scenic lot.
Right.
Anything else? I don't take a motion on 11.
Seifert moves to approve the sanitary sewer service connection agreement at 1834 East Oakwood Road.
Zarnecki will second.
Roll call, Gale is aye.
Zarnecki, aye?
Seifert, aye.
Great. Item 12 then is to consider approval of utility vouchers in the amount of $1,273,155.20. Questions for? Motion then on 12.
Kelly moves to approve the utility vouchers in the amount of
Zarnecki will second.
Roll call, Gale is aye.
Zarnecki, aye?
Seifert, aye.
Kelly, aye.
Great, item 13, Francesca, anything else to add to that? Administrative operations, or is that you, Mike, sorry?
I don't have anything
Notable?
notable.
And there's no progress update on nothing meaningful on the Franklin?
I am working on, with our rate consultant and our attorney, working on the draft contract to send to them. It's complex, so there's lots going on, probably end of June, July, I would guess, when we submit that to Franklin for them to take a look at. It's just a slow process to make, dotting all the i's and t's.
Great, anything else for Mike? Buddy? All right. That'll do, 14. None,
Kelly
nothing,
moves to adjourn.
yeah.
Zarnecki will second.
Roll call. Gales, aye.
Zarnecki, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Aye, aye.